It's a reality many couples quietly face. When the kids grow up and move out, everything changes. Suddenly, the noise is gone, the routines are disrupted, and the once full house feels hollow. What's even more surprising for many is this: some wives start to feel a growing dislike or resentment toward their husbands during this stage. Why does this happen? Why, after years of marriage, does distance grow when it should be a time of freedom and reconnection? Let's explore the reasons behind this emotional shift and what couples can do to rebuild and rediscover love in the empty nest phase. Before we start, I'd appreciate it if you could like this video. Your support helps me continue sharing helpful insights for better aging. If you haven't already subscribed, I recommend you do so, and turn on notification bell so you never miss a video. And if you find this video helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know. If not, leave number 0 and let me know what you'd like me to improve. Now, let's get started. 1. The distraction of parenting is gone for years. Raising children becomes the center of a couple's world. The shared responsibilities, school runs, homework, doctor visits, and emotional support keep couples functioning like co-managers of a busy household. Many women pour themselves completely into motherhood, often setting aside their own emotional needs or even frustrations with their spouse. Once the kids leave, that distraction disappears. The couple is left face to face, often realizing they haven't truly seen each other in decades. Without children to focus on, unresolved issues bubble to the surface. The little annoyances that were easy to ignore now feel intolerable. A wife might start to see her husband not as her partner, but as a stranger, or worse, a burden. 2. Unequal emotional labor. Over the years, one of the most common complaints from women in long-term marriages is that they've carried the bulk of the emotional labor. From managing birthdays to organizing holidays, from soothing emotional crises to remembering doctor appointments, it's often the wife who holds the family together emotionally. Over time, this imbalance breeds resentment. Once the children are gone, there is no longer a purpose to justify the sacrifice. Some wives begin to reflect and ask themselves, what did I get in return? If they feel unappreciated or unsupported, dislike toward their husbands can grow. 3. Loss of shared purpose. Children give a marriage direction. Together, couples work toward raising decent human beings. But when that mission ends, many couples find they no longer have a shared goal. Without that purpose, the relationship may feel aimless or obsolete. For many wives, this triggers an identity crisis. They may have defined themselves as mothers first and wives second. Once the role of mother becomes less active, they start re-evaluating their marriage and sometimes discover that it no longer fulfills them, or that their husband never really did. 4. Unmet emotional needs over time. In many traditional marriages, emotional intimacy is sidelined in favor of practical survival. Women, especially, may have needs for affection, conversation, support, and emotional closeness that go unmet for years. In the chaos of raising children, many wives tolerate emotional neglect, perhaps telling themselves things will improve once life settles down. When that time finally comes and nothing changes, it can be a breaking point. A wife may start to see her husband not as a source of comfort or companionship, but as someone who has repeatedly failed to connect with her emotionally. 5. Diverging personal growth. As time passes, people evolve. Wives may develop new interests, values, or dreams. Meanwhile, some husbands remain the same or resist change. This divergence can become painfully obvious once the kids leave. A woman who seeks growth and deeper meaning might look at her husband and see someone unwilling to explore life beyond the routine. What once was tolerable or even charming in their youth may now seem frustrating or backward. If her husband shows no interest in evolving with her, a wife might begin to feel stifled and eventually resentful. 6. Neglected intimacy and romance. Empty nest years can bring a revival of romance, but only if there's something left to revive. Unfortunately, for many couples, physical and emotional intimacy has withered long before the kids left. Whether due to exhaustion, unresolved conflicts, or simply growing apart, the romantic connection dies quietly. Wives often feel this lack more acutely. If intimacy has been replaced by routine, silence, or emotional distance, the wife may begin to see her husband as someone she no longer desires or connects with. What might start as mild dissatisfaction can fester into dislike when nothing is done to address the gap. 7. The myth of the golden years. Many women enter the empty nest stage with hope, freedom, travel, rediscovery. But when their reality falls short, disappointment sets in. They may find their husband has no plans, no curiosity, or no energy to pursue life with the same passion they now desire. This gap between expectation and reality can feel like betrayal. A wife who dreamed of exploring the world or starting new hobbies may resent a partner who prefers routine and passivity. Over time, this disillusionment can turn into irritation, then aversion. 8. Communication. Breakdown. Years of parenting often mean that communication revolves around logistics, school schedules, bills, family matters. Deep emotional conversations often vanish. When the kids leave, there's finally time for real talk, but many couples don't know how anymore. If a husband avoids vulnerability or struggles to listen, his wife may interpret it as indifference or emotional immaturity. The inability to connect on a deeper level leaves her feeling alone, even in the same house. That loneliness can morph into bitterness and slowly, dislike. 9. The rise of self-awareness. After years of putting others first, many women start to reclaim themselves. The empty nest is often a wake-up call, prompting self-reflection. Questions like, "Who am I? And what do I want from life now?" become louder. In some cases, a wife may realize that she has outgrown her husband emotionally, intellectually, or spiritually. This realization doesn't come from hate, but from clarity. A wife may come to understand that staying with her husband means staying small or stagnant. As she grows, the gap between them widens, and affection may be replaced with quiet resentment. 10. Midlife. Regret and comparison. With children grown, many wives compare their reality to the lives of others. Friends who travel with affectionate partners, or women who start over and find joy. Social media, movies, and books often romanticize reinvention. If a woman feels stuck in a marriage that feels cold or disconnected, she may feel cheated. Instead of gratitude for a shared life, some women begin to feel trapped. The more they compare, the more they notice what their marriage lacks. Over time, this can lead to discontentment and emotional withdrawal from their spouse. 11. The accumulation of small hurts. Long-term marriages are filled with small wounds, arguments, broken promises, forgotten birthdays, careless words. Many women forgive and move on, especially for the sake of the children. But once the kids leave, the emotional tally becomes clear. Without the chaos of daily life, the pain that was pushed aside now rises. A wife may begin to see her husband not with fresh eyes, but with years of accumulated frustration. These unhealed wounds can sour the relationship and change love into disappointment or even dislike. 12. A desire for reinvention. The post-parenting years can spark a powerful desire for reinvention. Many women finally have time to pursue their dreams, rediscover hobbies, or take bold steps toward the life they once paused. If their husband resists change or discourages their growth, resentment follows. Instead of a supportive partner, he becomes an anchor, weighing her down. This misalignment between one partner's desire for more and the other's contentment with the status quo can slowly poison affection and replace it with disdain. 13. Unspoken expectations about retirement. Many couples never talk about what they expect from the next phase of life. A wife might dream of reconnecting emotionally and traveling, while a husband imagines quiet evenings at home watching TV. These unspoken, unmet expectations breed disappointment. If the wife feels her husband is unmotivated or uninterested in building a vibrant future together, dislike can fester. She may feel she's carrying not just the emotional weight, but the vision for the rest of their life. And that's a heavy burden. How to prevent and heal the disconnection. The good news: this emotional drift isn't inevitable. With effort, communication, and willingness, couples can reconnect deeply, even after decades together. Here's how. Start talking, honestly and regularly. Make space for deep, vulnerable conversations about fears, needs, and dreams. Seek counseling. A good therapist can help unpack years of unresolved tension and guide you back to intimacy. Rediscover shared interests. Try new activities together to create fresh bonds and break old routines. Respect individual growth. Encourage each other's personal development instead of feeling threatened by it. Prioritize affection. Small gestures of care, physical touch, and appreciation go a long way in rebuilding emotional intimacy. When children leave home, marriages are put to the test. For some wives, this new chapter reveals truths that were long buried about unmet needs, unresolved pain, or emotional gaps. Dislike may surface not from sudden change, but from years of silent disappointment. Yet this moment is also an opportunity. It's a time to reflect, reconnect, and renew. With honesty, compassion, and effort, couples can turn the empty nest into a season of rediscovery rather than regret. The key is to acknowledge the distance and then choose to bridge it together.